Oh, hi there. Welcome to another edition of Daniel Doesn't Like What He Built. Yep, I don't like this. I don't like this at all because it's when I look at it, I these numbers is confusing and sort of after some thoughts, I realized that we modeled this view in following a spreadsheet, and it turns out spreadsheet is not that pleasing to look at. You gotta you see a number, you're gonna try to one locate it by the headers, and two, you have to read it, and three, then you can try to interpret and inform what it means. And for the purpose of a number, that's like terrible performance, right, for user experience. Because I just want to know for rogue and how many times I win for 11 times. I could just list it out and with a label that explains what this number is. And so this is not good. It's not just a formal presentation. I've tried, changing the background, leaving these empty cells out, empty, and I've tried everything and ending grid and all that. Yeah, long story short, don't like this. Don't like this at all. So I'm going to try something else. That is this. This has always been an interesting view. It's called Punchcard. You can see them on GitHub. And I like this. Why? Because it's graphical. It doesn't, it actually gives you a lot more information because of the size, and you can see sort of a spread of things. Oh, of course, this has a time as the horizontal axis, and that makes more sense. But still, even though here the horizontal line doesn't make sense, I still, well, the vertical line doesn't have a relationship. But I still, I still really like this format. So today I'm going to try to change our cells up to look like this. Okay. I'm also trying something else. That is, I'm going to use Vim instead of Xcode to do the coding as much as possible. Let's see. We'll see how that goes. All right. So as you can see, I already opened the stat cell, and so theoretically, when we set a skill here, all this code we just written should be triggered. We will create a new path, and that takes the skilled down most of the time radius, max radius, um, and create a circle path, and we assign the path to our circle layer, which if it's not initialized, it will initialize and return. And we should have something that looks you know, theoretically this should achieve the punch card effect. I'm sure I'll have a lot of debug to do, and I think I'll do that off camera. This is the code that end up building. I had to change the return type of circle pass to CG pass because that's what's expected for the layers. And for a circle layer, this is a lazy property as opposed to a calculated property. So I actually have to assign its value to this result of this um, closure block. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I forgot to do a return statement here, and yeah, and after that, it just builds. Let me build it for you just to prove it. I will include a link in the description of a blog that I wrote that describes how I build and run the app from the command line. If the value for cell is one of these, we will display nothing. And basically we need I think the simplest way to do it is just find the biggest number in existence in this sheet, and we assign the scale of 1 to that value, to that number, and then just display everything else in as a percentage of the um, so here we have our cached tabulated data, and somewhere in here we can say the maximum stat. I guess I had to separate win and loss. It's an integer, and we calculate it the same way, and we will return the cached value. Similarly, we'll do the loss version of that. Okay, and we need to do these cached maximum and minimum, cached win and loss values. I guess I'll do it here. Okay, and in our tabulate function, we keep track of all those numbers. All right. So now we need to think about what data we supply upstream from our source. Well, we now supplies the maximum win stat and loss stat, and we have access to the view model. I think in the arena report, a grade report. In the arena report, a grade report. Let's see. grid report view controller. Yeah, so as you can see here, we have our view model, and this is where we actually assign the test for the count label. And yeah, I think I'm going to assign the scale here as well. So to do that, we can say page data source, and we can say, okay, page, your maximum stat. Okay, now we can go back and simply use the maximum stat. Why is this double word not highlighted? I don't understand. Well, anyways, in the next hour, I kept working on the problem. The general structure of the code did not change, but I found a lot of issues. A lot of them. So much so that I concluded that this episode is gonna be a very unusual one. Take a look at our stat cell now. We have a color that's potentially from outside, and we have our uh, center of the circle calculated by the bounds of the cell, and we have our maximum radius that is half of the longest of the side, -1. We have post set action for the scale, where we pretty much create the layer, well, we'll clear all the sublayers, create a circle, and add the circle. And that's it. A little bit simpler than before. Anyways, so this is what I end up with. I've made a few visual tweaks, but as you can see, we translated the numbers into these dots, and we give them some color. And that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.